Hey everyone, welcome to another top 10 list. This is the conclusion of my top 10 notes that made the 100 greatest list. 100 greatest American currency notes as compiled by Bowers and Sundman. A quick Google search is going to put up this list, so once again, I'm just going to run down. Now, I don't think anybody could actually complete this list, considering the first note is the $1,000 grand watermelon that sells for about $3 million. I mean, if you can throw away $3 million on that one, then you can probably finish the rest of them. But you'll notice that there are a lot of higher denominations: 1875 $500 bill, another $1,000 here, another couple $100 bills here, there's a $500 there. So there's just so many different high denomination notes that they put on this list. It would make it virtually impossible for the average collector to do. But the thing is, this is the list that kind of inspired me to do top 10 lists, because you start seeing all these notes and you wonder, well, how many of those could I possibly get? And then you also wonder, how many of these could the average person ever get? So that inspired me to do my top 10 lists because, well, let's face it, you can't get this one, but I strive to make all of my top 10 lists available and easy enough for anyone to get. So, with that being said, let's check out my top 10 notes that I actually own from the top 100. And once again, I will also say that all of these are the real notes. I put away my replicas. I brought out the real notes for this list because if I'm going to tell you I've got notes on the top 100, I'm going to show you those notes. All right, number 10. Number 10 is from 1862. Not in the greatest of shape, but it's still an 1862 $5 bill. Was able to chalk that one up off the list. 1862 legal tender $5 bill. You can see it's in pretty rough shape, but that's what made it so affordable for me. I didn't have to fork out a ton of cash, and I still got to cross off one of my notes on the top 100 list. If you remember from last week, I ended on the note that came in number 50 on that list. This one, we're already with the first note up to number 32 on the list. This one's number 32 out of the top 100. 1862 $5 legal tender. Number 9, if the $5 was there from 1862, you know that the $1 1862 legal tender's got to be on that list. This is the first $1 bill that the federal government ever put out. The 1862 $1 legal tender. If you go through singles like I do, looking for fancies and looking for older notes, this is the first note to have. This is where it all started. The 1862 legal tender, this one is really nice. 35 on that one, if I remember. Just incredible paper quality on this one. Such a sweet note. And for it to be part of the top 100, I was very proud of that. This particular one just ekes out the other one at number 31 on the list. That would be the 1862 $1 legal tender, number 31. Number 8 on my list, this is from 1918. It is a $2 national currency. It is a Federal Reserve banknote. This particular one happens to be from New York. Federal Reserve banknote, $2 bill. This is the Battleship. The Battleship note from 1918 has a World War I battleship on the back. This is the USS New York. Very, very cool note. Anybody who collects notes would love to have such imagery on their note. Anyone who is a veteran, anyone who ever served, they also collect notes like this just because of the imagery and the iconicness of this particular note, which makes this such a high demand note. The prices on these can get up real quick. This particular note, the Battleship, is number 22 on the top 100. 22 on the top 100, and yeah, deservedly so. That is number 8 for me. Number 7 is my 1899 $1 Black Eagle. This one is really nice. My $1 Black Eagle from 1899. Very cool imagery on this one. This one is decent condition too, so you get the bright blues on there. The 1899 $1 Black Eagle, just a sweet, sweet note. It's a fairly easy note to add to your collection. These are out there. If you're picky on condition, then you may pay up a little bit for it, but overall these are very, very affordable. The best part about these, aside from being affordable, is this is number 16 out of the top 100. So yeah, you can have a note ranked that high for, you know, 100, 200, $300 if you want one that's really nice. An affordable addition to anybody's collection, and number 16 out of the top 100. So this one is number 7 on my list. Number 6 on my list is the $2 educational note, the 1896 $2 silver certificate, the educational series note. The $2 certificate, these not only came out in 1896, and they were repealed 3 years later and had to be replaced. Some of the imagery on the $5 note is what shook everybody up, but still, you look at this, and this is such an amazing looking note. This is one of probably my favorite of the educational series, but not necessarily the case on the list. This particular one is number 6 on my list, and for the educational series, this one is number 11 on that top 100. So yeah, we're already up to 11, and that's number 6. Number 5, if you've done the math, that means that the top 5 notes that I have are all top 10 on the 100 list. So that is pretty impressive. I'm pretty proud of that. I gotta gloat a little bit about that. I'm really proud. All right, number 5 on my list is the note that comes in number 10 overall out of the top 100. That would be my 1899 $5 Chief note. The $5 Chief from 1899, definitely an iconic image. You've got Chief in the center, you've got the blue seal. Just the font that they used here with that background is so cool. Such an iconic note. Take a quick peek at the back. Fairly decent shape. It's got the stain there, but other than that, the rest of the note is really good. I've seen notes like this without the stain selling for almost $1,200. So yeah, with that little stain there, I saved myself over $800 off of that price. And I have the feeling I could probably get quite a bit for this note right now, even with that stain, but I'm not looking to sell it. I'm just going to watch it go up. The 1899 $5 silver certificate, number 5 on my list, number 10 overall out of the top 100. All right, number 4. Number 4 on my list, the $1 educational series note from 1896. The $1 silver certificate, this particular one's a 25, so it's in pretty good shape. 1896 silver certificate from the educational series. We'll take a quick peek at the back on this one. You've got George and you've got Martha on there. Same picture of Martha on here as it is on the Martha Washington note. That was number 50 overall. And yeah, taking a look at this one, the 1896 $1 silver certificate, number 4 on my list of notes. This one tops out on the top 100 at number 7. So number 7, the $1 educational note from 1896. All right. Number 3 on my list, we have the 1901 $10 legal tender. This is the Bison note. The Bison note featuring Lewis and Clark, and of course the North American Bison dead center. Lewis and Clark probably saw more North American bison than anybody because they were the first ones to cross the Great Plains. So they were able to see all this stuff. Putting Lewis and Clark with a bison on there is just a very, very cool thing. Take a look at the back here. Wide open fields. If this note was in better shape, seeing all that white is just so pretty like that. The Bison note is number 3 on my list, and this one comes out on the top 100 at number 6. So another great addition to have in anybody's collection. Number 2 on my list is the $5 educational note. $5 educational series note from 1896. This $5 note is in the top 5. It is actually number 5 on the top 100 list. $5 educational note is the troublemaker note. Take a peek at the back here. You've got Sheridan and you've got Grant. And you've got the Raiders of the Lost Archangel. The $5 troublemaker note from 1896. They forgot to put a top on her, and that's what caused the uproar. So the American public said, we will not have pornography in our pocket, and they demanded that these notes get yanked from circulation. Some of the most beautiful notes, the entire educational series is just amazing. The 1, the 2, and the 5, if you can put those together, that alone is a great collection to have. So the 1896 $5 bill, this one's number 2 for me, and it is number 5 overall. So, what is the highest ranked note that I own? Number 1, it is my 1865, I believe, is when this particular one came out. Lazy Deuce. It's a national banknote. The $2 national banknote from this particular one is the American National Bank of Providence. It's a $2 note, and it features, you've got the 2 here, but it also has this 2 laying on its side, and because it's laying down, this became known as the Lazy Deuce. Now, national banknotes back then were very cool because, of course, you had the eagle for the U.S., but then for whatever state it was, they also had their seal on here. You can see this one here is Rhode Island. So a Lazy Deuce, this one's an 8. That's how it was graded. Very, very cool note. Number 1 as far as notes that I own on the top 100. This particular note is number 4. Number 4 on the top 100. So yeah, this is number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, and we skip a couple when we go to number 10, 11, skip a couple more, make it to 16. So yeah, that's my list of notes. 22, and so on. So yeah, out of the top 100, I've got quite a few of the good ones. Quite proud of this collection. Always willing to add to it. You guys saw my top 10 notes on my wish list, and with that, I'll be able to shore up a couple more positions in this particular list. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching. I'd be curious to see how close anybody else has come to total number of notes on that list. Like I said, there's 100 there. I have 16 of the actual notes. I've got 4 more that are just a year off. So I got to take that as 16. I've got 16 official notes on that list. I'm curious to see how many you guys have, and I put that list up there this week and last week. Go ahead and check it out. A quick Google search will get you that list anyway. Guys, thank you very much for watching. If you have an idea for a list, go ahead and put that down in the comments below. If I can turn that into a list in a video, I will make sure to put your name out front and center. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you again next week.